David Jones, thank you very much for being with us today.
It's a pleasure.
You have announced your participation in the Kofi Annan project. Why did you join that project for climate justice?
I think for me, when I look at our industry, what it excels at is changing consumer behavior, and we do it, on an everyday basis to encourage people to buy product A rather than product B. And my personal belief is that, not only do we have the capability, but we have the obligation to use that talent to actually change consumer behavior for some of the important issues facing the world today. So be it poverty, be it areas like that, or be it areas like climate. So what we, personally, for me and professionally from a Havas Worldwide and Euro SCG level, we basically have decided to put our efforts behind this and say, we can actually change people's behavior around one of the most important issues facing the planet, which is climate change. And obviously Kofi Annan is an incredible ambassador. He set up the Global Alliance for Climate Justice, and we thought it was an incredibly worthy cause and something we could put our efforts behind.
How much is Havas and Euro SCG involved?
Massively. We've been now working on this for about 12 months, and we've done absolutely every single element of the campaign. But the key thing really is we want it to be a completely open source campaign. So what we mean by that is there's a lot of other things going on in the area of climate change. Firstly, the difference about ours is it's about the very real human impact that's happening already because of climate change. So in the developed countries, we often think of climate change as something that will have an impact in 30, 40, 50 years. And actually, Kofi's campaign is all about focusing people's attention on the fact that it's happening now. And the key objective of the campaign is in Copenhagen in December, the new Kyoto is happening, and the world's leaders will get together to vote on the new climate restrictions, and we want to ensure that they make the right decisions there. So what we're very much focused on with the campaign is driving people to raise the issue with their politicians and ensure that Copenhagen reaches a genuine agreement one that will benefit the future of the world.
So how are you going to do that? Can you describe the campaign?
Sure. There's a few ways. The overall idea behind the campaign is actually more of a movement than a campaign. And what we wanted to do is actually, when you think about the whole area and issue of climate, it's a countdown. It's a doomsday countdown, if you like. That if we don't do the right things, time is running out. The same thing with Copenhagen. It's happening in December. Most people in the world today aren't aware of this. So our campaign breaks in July. And the basic idea of it is it's around the ticking of a clock. So the branding idea is tick, tick, tick. And also that obviously a clock is all about movement. So it's a big movement with a deadline. Tick, tick, tick is the idea, and people will be able to go and look at and view all of the elements. But one or two of the key things, if you're a consumer, what we want you to do is download a track. We'll be putting out Midnight Oil's Beds Are Burning, and it's a free download, and we're hoping it will become one of the most downloaded tracks in the history of music. The other thing we want people to do is upload their tick. So film themselves saying tick, upload it to the website, and we'll create a giant digital clock. If you're an advertiser, what we want you to do is run the logo on your advertising. So very much like Lance Armstrong's yellow armband for people, this is the equivalent of that, and we want you to put it on your advertising. And then if you're an agency or an individual, we want you to create content. So we want other agencies to go off and take this idea and do brilliant things with it. So it's really important that this is not our campaign. What we want is to make it everybody's campaign, to create a movement and to make it open source.
And what will happen after Copenhagen? Will you remain involved?
Absolutely, but I think Copenhagen is a massive focus, because if we don't do the right things in Copenhagen and don't reach the right agreements, then it's going to be pretty ominous for the future of the planet.
So advertising play a great role in helping the planet to survive.
And I think it's something, I think our industry, when it's at its best, it does change people's behavior. Creativity can help sort out some of the world's big problems. And I think, if you look in the world today, consumers are saying they want companies to stand for more than just profit. I mean, we did a global study before the economic meltdown where 80% of people said they believe that companies should stand for more than just profit. And I think, we believe at a Havas Worldwide level, and we say to our clients, what is it that you stand for over and above just profit? And I think our industry can use its creativity to help solve some of the bigger issues facing us.
David Jones, thank you very much.
It's a pleasure.